I made a 2D game in 3D. Hello guys, it's been a long time. I hope you guys are doing good. I have seen this 2D game in Google Play Store. In this game, you move through different obstacles, but the real challenge is you control the player using your voice. I played this game for a while and it's kind of fun, so I decided to recreate this game in 3D. The very first thing I did is, I opened Blender and with my extraordinary 3D modeling skill, I modeled this character and added basic animations like ideal and walking animations. And I even added a jetpack. I imported this character into Godot and added a toon shader. By the way, toon shader is a type of shader that gives a cartoonic look. The next step is getting audio input, and I have no idea how to do it. So I did a little research and somehow I managed to pull it off. And I used this input to move the player. Now I want the player to fly. So I tried to modify the jumping system, but it was not working as I expected. So I created a separate flying system. The player input audio is measured in decibel. When the input audio crossed the threshold value, I turned off the gravity and moved the player above the ground. After a certain amount of time, I turned on the gravity back so that the player falls to the ground. And that's how I implemented the flying mechanics. If there is a better way to do it, let me know in the comments. Now I have the player and I started to design level 1. I created another scene and made spikes and added that scene to level 1 so that I can reuse the spikes again and again. I want this game to be a simple one and I created 4 more levels with simple obstacles. In level 2, I broke the platform into pieces and added moving parts and created a dead zone in order to detect player death. In level 3, I added moving blocks. If one of the blocks falls on the player, then the player will be dead. In level 3, I added circular blade-like structures that move left and right as obstacles. I combined all the obstacles from the above levels and created level 5. Now I need a home page to navigate between these levels. So I created a simple white screen with some buttons as a main menu. Now I have to show result to the player. I have to create the result screen. Before that, I calculated the distance traveled by the player in a level. If the distance traveled by the player is greater than or equal to 50, then he wins. If it's less than 50, then he loses. Now I created the result screen with win or lose text and the distance traveled by the player in percentage. Now I have a main menu to navigate between levels and I created 5 levels for the player to play and I created a result screen. So I completed all the core stuff that is needed for the game and I started polishing the game a little bit. First, I started changing the environment. I tried to create a cozy looking environment and I'm pretty much satisfied with the results and I moved on to adding particles. I added walking particles and flying particles to the jet and I improved the flying mechanics a little bit by tweaking the values. Then I changed the environment in each level. In the main menu, I added the game title and before doing this, I saved the result of each level and loaded them in the main screen. I disabled the last 4 levels, so when you complete the current level, you will be able to play the next level. With this, I completed the main menu and I didn't change anything in the result screen and now it feels like a whole game. I removed the placeholders and added 2 separate buttons for music and sound effects. And in each level, I added a button to quit. And then I added music and sound effect to the game. This is the important part in game development. Music and sound effects can make a game 1000 times better. I wrote some code to enable and disable audio and everything was working fine. I added progress bar in each level to show the distance covered. Now I have a main menu, 5 different levels, audio control and a result screen. And now the game is complete. I exported the game and I'm happy about the results. If possible, I will give a link in description to download the game. Now I want to talk about switching from Unity to Godot. If you are following this channel, you may know that I was using Unity to create my previous game. The reason for switching engines is simple. I just want to experience both engines in order to decide which is suitable for me. So far I have used Unity and Godot and I'm looking forward to use Unreal, but right now I don't have the hardware that could support Unreal Engine, so I left Unreal Engine for the future. So in my opinion, Unity is fine and it's beginner friendly and you have a beautiful community. You can find tons of tutorials on YouTube. Right now the pricing is fine. Unless you make 200k, you don't have to pay any royalty. And it's not common for indie game to make 200k. And even if you make more than 200k, then I think you can pay royalty. So I think pricing is fine right now. And with Unity, you can make games with complex mechanism and higher graphics. And Unity Asset Store is a thing. And overall, Unity is good. On the other hand, we have Godot. In my case, when I started using Godot, I felt it is a little bit harder than Unity. It has static body, collision shape, mesh instance, and it does not have a prefab. We have to create a scene and load it into another scene in order to use it. And when I try to scale an object, it gives me warning and I don't know why is it. And in the beginning I struggled a lot, but once I got a hang of it, it felt felt a lot easier to work in Godot. And Godot is not as heavy as Unity, so I can literally run it in laptop, creating small indie titles. Godot is a good engine to do this. I will be using Godot. And see you in the next video and subscribe for more. Bye.